So what do you know about new thought? What do you know about new thought? And is it actually new thought? You think some of us drummed it up? Somebody said, hey, let's do this. We can even track it back. I asked God today, commonly known as AI, on my walk back to the hotel, where did the notion of new thought come from? Guess what the response was? Anybody just guess? Something we probably believe too. Phineas Quimby. Remember that? It's like, okay, then we bow to Phineas Quimby. And bless you, Phineas. And was it actually a new thought? Was it a new thought? New thought for me is my path. It has been, because new thought leaves no one out. No one is left out in new thought. That's why new thought is no new thought. If we believe what we say and sing and think and pray, then new thought leaves no one out. That there's one power and one presence in all the universe, then it is that. It is that. Then it is literally inclusive. Literally inclusive. And it's pretty easy to say we're inclusive, but then this says, as long as they agree with me, as long as they ain't a knucklehead, but as soon as they're a knucklehead, we're not careful, like our heart will shut down. So we're called, if we've not already been healed at some level with this music that's beautiful, look at you, choir, like I live with one certain principle, and that is God outdoes me. God outdoes me every single day. Then I said, last year I said, we're going to fill up that Goppert Center. And we're going to be the first ones to fill it up. And of course, there's a few that look at me side-eyed, like, oh God, here she goes again. Then there's a few that goes, let's do it. Let's do it. Then I said, we'll have a choir. And then there was 10 in the choir, then 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60, 70, 80. So a seed was planted that a tree grew from because of a new thought, a new possibility. And I'm kind of over, let me just say it again and feel it. I'm over hearing new thought is dying. And new thought is diminishing, and new thought is going away. I'm just over it. I'm over it because it is not true. And you may hear from some leaders here in a minute that will tell you it's not true. Some of the old ways are dying. Some of the old ways have died. And if we can let it be okay, like none of us mourned the fax machine when it died. None of us went, I can't do without that fax machine. So let's us bow to what was and then say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do and what's possible here? So we have some old friends in New Thought. Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. So it calls us to question, what do I actually believe? And just because they believed it doesn't mean I do. And then it's like, well, I kind of want to believe it. It's like, well, tell your face. Because it ain't caught up. And as we keep traipsing around here going, it's all good, it's all good. It's like, well, we don't believe you because your face doesn't reflect that. So be sure to tell your face before you tell us it's all good. And if somebody is watching their baby go down in a grave, they don't want to hear it's all good anymore. So let's try to come out of some of that. Now back here, up there, wherever, and down here in the absolute, it may be all good, to be determined. However, back here at the ranch, we've got some humanity and a humanity heart to care for. and to lead from the place in our heart that is transformed, that is integrated, that knows the suffering of the human and doesn't diminish the divine nature, but knows clearly that it is both and, not one or the other. Socrates invited people not to look outside for truth, but to awaken within, deep within. This is the heartbeat. This is the heartbeat of New Thought. Plato, who reminded us that there is more to reality than we can see, and that we've got senses inherent in 8 senses, powers, 12 powers, 20 powers, 2,000 powers within us to say we can see beyond the physical. There's something here that's able to see beyond the physical. And that reality is created by the mind, and we can change our mind. You might look to somebody by you and tell them, you know, you could change your mind. Go ahead and change your mind occasionally. Let's change our mind about a few of these things. And you know, and we're up against some inertia here because according to the psychology data, 80% of the population has a fixed mindset. Have you noticed? Whew. After all we've done for God. So those of us that can change our mind and can open our mind and to say, hey, and to take spiritual accountability for this. Spiritual accountability for this. Spiritual authority. Our own inherent innate wisdom to say, I have my own authority here. And regardless of what they do, say, think, and feel, I've got to take spiritual accountability for what I think, feel, say, and do. And that's mine to do. And this is a new thought idea, a new thought statement. Nothing new here. Aristotle grounded philosophy practically. Happiness depends on her. Just why I say they won't let me sing the peace song. Well, first of all, I can't sing, don't know a note from a key, from a chord, from a pitch. However, it would go like, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with him. And as soon as he apologizes, I will consider it. Well, wait a minute. I've just perpetuated the very violence I claim I want to end in the world. Exponentially, just lifted up violence in the world that I claim I want to see ended in my lifetime, in our lifetime. So not on outside circumstances, not on luck, but on how we live. How we live, how we choose, how we embody virtues, whatever your standards of integrity are. And I don't know what yours are, but I'm kind of over that too. People call, I've been at this a long time, and they'll call and go, Martha, can you come in and help us? She's so out of integrity. He's so out of integrity. I'm like, you don't know a thing about their integrity. You don't know about their integrity? You don't know what they believe and think? You don't know what their traumas are? You ain't walked in their shoes. Now, if you want to talk about your integrity, you can call me. I'll be on over. But I ain't going to listen to nothing about somebody else being out of integrity because we don't know a thing about that, what their integrity is. Meister Eckhart, the eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So over and over, humanity has been reminded that God is not distant. God is not distant. Near, closer than our hands and feet, our very essence. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Bill, don't leave. I know he's your boyfriend. He wears a shirt with his name on it. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lives within us. So Emerson planted these seeds for us, and these seeds grew through new thought and through the name of new thought. And we get to sit under the shade of some of that tree that was planted today while we plant new trees. Trees that we likely won't ever get to sit under the shade of. And will we keep planting? We'll plant anyway. We'll plant anyway, because those coming after us are counting on us to do that, to be that. Charles Fillmore, faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with power to shape substance. Really? Where's your faith? What's your faith in? Anybody having a little trouble cultivating faith lately? A little hard to foster some faith witnessing all this outside of us, ain't it? Emily Cady, in Lessons in Truth, says every person believes himself, every man, every human believes themselves to be in bondage to the flesh and to the things of the flesh, and all suffering is a result of this belief. And then says, the truth is, you are spirit now. You are spirit now. How would you live if that was reality for you? What would you do differently? Nona Brooks, Divine Science founder, says that as God is one presence and one power, and you are included in that presence and power. Want to just say it together? I am included in that presence and power. God is one presence and one power, and I am that presence and power. I am included. I am part of that. Founder of religious science, ErnestHolmes, said it as, there's a power for good. Do you remember the first time you heard this? That there's a power for good in the universe, greater than we are. And guess what? We can use it. Can you say it together? We can use it. We can use it. And of course, let's not leave out the true masters. I can't believe it. Been there? You been there? And that is why you failed. And I watched a little boy one day. He got a little Luke Skywalker. And when he pushed a button, Luke said, "You are not a Jedi yet." And he would practice and practice and go back and push the button. "You are not a Jedi yet." And he practiced and practiced. Like if he would go back and push the same button, something else was going to be said. You're not a master yet. You're not a Jedi yet. Only according to what you believe. New thoughts about new thought. So we see the wisdom is not new. The message is forever the same. The divine is within us. Thoughts shape reality. Love heals. We are not victims of fate. We're co-creators with the Spirit, the essence of that which created us. We are not inventing. We are remembering. We're not creating something brand new. We're discovering what has always been true. Rediscovering. So see if you can just read these to yourself. Get a sense of them in your body. and what it would be like to not just put these out as platitudes or words or theories, and what the consequences are to our principles, to our practices, to our new thought movement, if we stay stuck in the theory of this and fail to embody it and live it. Consequences. So I heard in my bio, which is interesting to hear, that I'm the master of the art of questioning. And I do question, and I'm very grateful for that. And this part of the mind that it will even entertain a question. So here's the question: what will we do with these teachings? What are we going to do with principle? What are we going to do with our part? What are you going to do? What are we going to do? And if we want to see this around for the next 100 years and growing and expanding, then we'll have to dust off some of our BS belief systems and then say, okay, I'm going to have to do a little something here. So if Socrates is right, then we must examine our lives. We've got to examine what we think and believe, what we're actually behind, not just claiming it to be, but what is actual. If Aristotle is right, then our happiness actually depends on us, and to the degree that when Ricky and I were working together as we planned this, she caught me getting just a little uptight. And she said, Martha, you having fun? Are you having fun? I'm like, oh, screw you. Oh, yes, of course, I'm having fun. But it's like, look what fun can do. When I shift out of that, like instead of getting so uptight, anxiety is a sign that I'm not aligned. That I'm not aligned. If the Fillmores, Emily, Katie, that bunch is right, then we must take responsibility for the creative power of our own thoughts. The healing of the soul of humanity will not come by accident. It will not come from one leader or a savior, somebody to do it for us. It will come as each of us awakens and remembers and then chooses, which means we've got to be above the line. Because down here, it's like snakes and lizards kind of thinking, oh, I'm mad at her. Look at how she looked at me. It's like, yeah, well, she did. And get on up here with the rest of us so we can do something else. It will not come from this. It will come from each of us as we awaken and choose to live the truth as we understand it in devotional applied practice. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do when somebody cuts you off on the labyrinth tonight? These questions are real. What are you going to do when you go to the high holy prayer vigil in the morning and somebody is snoring loudly in the seat beside of you and came in late? What are you going to do? So, what thought of gratitude will you hold? Each one of these actions, if quantum theory is true, these actions are cosmic action. No small thing that in moment to moment, interaction to interaction, cosmic effect to my impact. What impact? Would you say this? Maybe a hand over your heart. Remember, in this uplifted music, what we've had, my deepest thanks for every one of you for making this vision possible. And my vision is clear, which is to get empowered teachings to the whole of humanity. And you're a part of it now, so you're co-inspiring with me. And to serve those who serve. To serve those who serve. So that's why I'm here. And that's what I think about you. That I know your service. I know your hearts. I've witnessed it. So would you just join me in saying this together? Together, we can do what cannot be done alone. Again, together we can do what cannot be done alone. Together we can do what cannot be done alone. It begins tonight. It begins again tonight. Thank you for what you're being. Thank you for what you're doing. And if there's ever a way I can support you, get directly in touch with me. All my love to you. Thank you.
marthacreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.